A little damp. We get that on tape.
Power's on. It's not recording.
It's too. It says it is.
Doesn't that light supposed to go on? Did you ever press that red button?
Yes.
Okay, never mind.
Okay. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We apologize for the weather, but what can we do? Yesterday afternoon was so beautiful, and we were practically praying that today would be the same way, but it's to no avail. It is my great pleasure to welcome all of you to the dedication of the Jack F. Ealy International Center at Tri-State University. Mr. Ealy and 12 members of his immediate family have traveled here from Mexico City to be with us today. I would like to begin by introducing this distinguished family to you. First, I am honored to introduce the family patriarch, Mr. Jack F. Ealy, Tri-State alumnus, 1923 to 1926. That's 72 years ago, in case you're counting. Long time, spans a big period in technological history. Mr. Ealy, would you mind standing and blocking the view? This is Mr. Ealy. Would you like President Reynolds will have more to say about this distinguished gentleman later in the program. Next, I would like to introduce Mr. Ealy's son, Mr. Juan Francisco Ortiz, President and General Manager of El Universal, largest newspaper in Mexico. Next is Mr. Ealy's daughter, Mrs. Maria Teresa Ealy Ortiz de Gonzalez. Other members who are present today and who are among you there, I would like to acknowledge Dr. Jose Jesus Roberto Gonzalez Flores, who is son-in-law and husband of this lovely lady here. Mrs. Juan Francisco Ealy Ortiz, daughter-in-law. Mr. Juan Francisco Ealy Jr., grandson. Mr. Juan Carlos Ealy, grandson. Lolita Ealy de Espinoza, granddaughter. Mr. Carlos Espinoza Gomez, grandson-in-law. Mrs. Maria Teresa Gonzalez de Bustamante, granddaughter. Mr. Enrique Bustamante, grandson-in-law. Ms. Maria Gonzalez Ealy, granddaughter. And Mr. Jesus Roberto Gonzalez Ealy, grandson. We are very, very happy to have all of you here today, with or without the weather cooperating. It's a great honor, and on behalf of all of my colleagues here, I wish to extend you the warmest and heartiest welcomes. The next item on our program today is a short speech by a student at Tri-State University by the name of Maria Calamara. Ms. Calamara is a Mexican national. She comes from the state of Coahuila. She currently lives in a very small village nearby here called Ligonier. I hope I'm not offending anyone when I say small village. She assured me that it was much smaller than Angola. So, Ms. Calamaro is majoring in business management. And a little aside that may be of some interest to you, she is engaged to another international student who hails from Belarus in the former Soviet Union, and is expecting to be married next March, I believe she told me. I'd like to introduce Ms. Calamaro, who will speak to us.
Los estudiantes de la Universidad de Tri-State tienen el honor de que el Centro Internacional esté siendo dedicado a un exitoso y sobresaliente graduado como el señor Jack Francis Ealy. Siendo de México, para mí es un placer que el señor Jack Ealy sea también de mi país y que haya traído a su familia para celebrar con nosotros este día. The students at Tri-State University are honored that the International Center is being dedicated to such a successful and devoted alumni as Mr. Jack Francis Ealy. Being from Mexico, I am doubly honored that Mr. Ealy is also from my country and that he has brought so many of his family to celebrate with us today. Tri-State University is an excellent educational environment which has touched students' lives all over the world for several decades. Thanks to the admiration of one Tri-State's oldest alumni, international students have the International Center to serve their special needs. Often students from other countries find themselves overwhelmed by the new experience of living in the United States. The International Center provides a place for international students to feel welcome and understood. The students of Tri-State University wish to thank Mr. Ealy for his continued devotion. Future generations of students will have the name of Mr. Jack Francis Ealy to inspire them to succeed. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Maria. Those were inspiring words, and I think you were speaking for many, many of your colleagues present and yet to come. You make those remarks, and we share her thanks to you, Mr. Ealy, for your assistance. The next item on the program is a statement about our guest, our special guest today, Mr. Jack F. Ealy, and the remarks will be made by President John R. Reynolds. I don't know, Mr. Ealy, if you remember, but I did some checking, and when you were a student here, the president was a gentleman by the name of Ernest Long. You remember him? He lasted just as long as you did. He came the year you came, and I think he left the year you left. So I don't know if there was a connection or not. That's been a long time ago. We now have a young man here. We just met a few minutes ago. He's a very lively guy and made a lot of changes to this campus since he's been here. I'd like to invite him to come forward and to say some words about it.
Thank you, Hollis. I imagine by this time, Jack is wondering, is he ever going to get a chance to speak? Obviously, you haven't been here before, Jack. It's very hard to get up and get a word in edgewise with all these people at one time. But I'd like to welcome all of you here today on behalf of faculty and staff and students. We don't have a lot of students and faculty here right now. We finished about 3 weeks ago, I believe, the normal academic year, so people are kind of sparse. We have a few more Mexican students normally, but they have gone back to Mexico for the summer. And so we're fortunate to have a couple of them that just, can't speak Spanish. I could have done it. Anyhow, we want to welcome you today. This is a very, very special occasion. And anytime we have a graduate here that graduated 70 years ago, that is really, really, really something. And someone that's accomplished as much as Jack Ealy has, and now is, in a position and willing to share some of, his past with the university and contribute back to the university in the form of an international center. But I'd like to tell you a little bit about Mr. Ealy. As I said before, it's a great deal of pleasure for us today to be able to dedicate the Jack F. Ealy International Center. Our honored guest, Jack Ealy, I'm going to turn a little bit, Jack, so I can make sure you hear. Our honored guest, Jack Ealy, and his family have traveled a great distance to be here with us today. And we welcome them to our campus, to Angola, and to Indiana. However great the distance is that they each have traveled. Certainly one who has traveled the furthest and the longest is the man that we honor here today, Jack Ealy. He was no more than 18 when he first arrived on the Tri-State campus in 1923. And the electrical engineering program in which he enrolled wasn't much older. The year that the first electrical engineers graduated from Tri-State was 1909. And in 1909, that class, there were only 4 students, electrical engineers, graduating. By the time of Mr. Ealy's arrival in 1923, the engineering school had become the main work of Tri-State. And the electrical department, under the guidance of William Pfeiffer, I believe, grew by leaps and bounds. During Mr. Ealy's years at Tri-State, 3 single-phase General Electric transformers and a Westinghouse converter unit and a GE alternating current generator had been installed. Enough wires and currents to fill the entire north half of the engineering building at that time. Is that right, or did we just make that up? That is right. But we know from Mr. Ealy's warm memories of Tri-State and Angola that it's not just the time he spent in the electrical labs that has drawn him back, but the memories of the professors, his classmates, and his friends that he made while he was here. Mr. Ealy's journey after leaving Tri-State has covered many miles and incredible changes in technology through it all, from the oil fields and cotton fields of Mexico to the board of Mexico's premier private news agency, El Universo. He has kept his special place in his heart for Tri-State College. And we are deeply pleased and honored to recognize him here today. With the dedication of the Jack F. Ealy International Center, we shall keep a special place for him here on the campus of his alma mater. And at this time, I would like to have, before we have Mr. Ealy speak to you, have Mr. Ealy and Juan Francisco, his son, come up, cut the ribbon, which is supposed to be outside, but we have to pretend this is the door. Me too. We should cut it, I think, the ribbon. This time, I think Mr. Ealy has some remarks he would like to make, and after that, we're going to try to go downstairs with an umbrella or something and do an unveiling of something you'll see, you haven't seen from. Okay?
Thank you. Mr. John Reynolds, President of the Tri-State University, members of the faculty, ladies and gentlemen. More than 100 years have passed since that Memorial Day of June the 17th, 1883, when the doors of Tri-State University were open. What we now see as traditional does not include only what surrounds us, but also great academic prestige. Thousands of fellow alumni have passed through these classrooms, laboratories, and workshops, finding a fountain of knowledge which has helped us greatly in facing the life I am one of these. The memories of my venture as a student are unforgettable. Now, after 70 years, I return to my alma mater and find corners, walls, doors which make me nostalgic. I remember these years being young, but those times when everything was an adventure, a challenge to overcome. I still hold dear my memories when I was a student, from 1923 to 1926, of how every professor transmitted their lessons, all of which joined together and transferred me a good man as a professional in the field of electrical engineering. Those professors gave me the tools that I have used during my lifetime. Since that day that I left this beautiful campus, which now expresses me by the side. I deeply appreciate this recognition which the university has granted me, giving my name to the International Center. I consider it an honor to share this moment with my son and daughter, who are present today, and which represents my greatest satisfaction and pride in all they have accomplished, each one. As the unpresentable siblings, they are, along with their mother, they are the ones who have helped me through my life. And once again, they join me at this time of such great personal importance. Being able to be here with them and all my grandchildren is a blessing and a moment of tremendous joy. I receive this recognition with humility, with simplicity, but not before I say that I do it with great satisfaction of what I have accomplished, with the life as my witness and all my loved ones, both here and absent. them call Tri-State University their home. And I sincerely congratulate you on the education oriented that you continue to pass on to new generations. Please receive gratitude of the Ealy family, and especially mine. Thank you.
How's the weather doing out there?
It's raining. Not as hard as it was, but maybe we could just jump out there for a second. There's no problem, Jack and I have an umbrella. I don't know about the rest of you people. His family, they have made a very significant contribution to the university that we're very, very So I think now if we could go downstairs, I don't know how we're going to do it.
Hey, don't get a picture.
I got a picture of these guys hanging out in here.
Okay.
We don't get out much, do we?
You guys are from here. Yeah, I know. You didn't drive from Mexico here, did you?
We drove them all the way from Mexico.
Are you guys from Fort Wayne? Fort Wayne? South
South Bend.
I'm like, wait a second.
So we don't get out much. Oops,
Mom, I don't want to be up there. Yeah, Kim, get me over here. Oh, gosh.
Si no fuera por el agüita, híjole.
Oh, my. I better get over there.
Walk here a little bit. No, no se ve, no, hombre.
This thing?
I'll tell you what.
You want us to do this? Okay, sure.
That person's not there.
Ladies and gentlemen, guys, attention. Carol, Shane.
Shall we pause just briefly? Lord God, we thank you for the life that we have. We thank you for the blessings that you have given this university and the people who have worked here over the years. We especially are thankful for our honored guests this evening who are joining us, who have contributed to this university in many ways. And we ask that our relationship may be mutually beneficial in the future. And tonight, as we gather to partake of food for our bodies, that we may be strengthened to continue the work that this family and we together might do in the future. We ask your blessing on us. Amen.
I'd like to tell you I made that. made him. He said he doesn't. He said he doesn't believe it. Who did it?
Alice cut him out this morning. I wish I had. This came from Alex, one of our Mexican students. In Spanish.
The name?
The Spanish. So tell us where you got it.
Well, these decorations, I got them from my mom. I invited her to come here in April for the International Night. It's a dinner that we have once a year. And I asked her, well, I need something really typical of Mexico to decorate. And she's like, well, why can I bring a piñata? Well, no, because I have one already. Okay, then I know. I'll bring the paper that we use to decorate our parties, our festivities, the Dia de Muertos, all these kind of things. We'll bring some nice papel picado, that is this kind of paper. And she brought it for me. And I thought, well, it would be a very, very good idea if I put this paper here, you know, and you know, just think a little bit about the parties that we have in Mexico. Huh? So that's the origin of this.
It's too bad that it probably wouldn't play too funny on television. But someday it might. Somebody will probably do this kind of thing as a sitcom. And, you know, the people will think it right now it's probably I'm telling him and I, we're missing millions of dollars, you know, and then take a writer and let him, you know. Like when it's time to leave, nobody wants to leave. We want to get out. We want to go home because we've been there talking. We want to get on a string behind the wall. I play a little record. Goodbye, everybody. Yank them straight up. Now you know. Can you imagine what fun that would be? Maybe Fox is very creative. Fox pretty good with that. Very Gary, very avant-garde. Yeah. Maybe they would consider that. They might. Yeah. You know, they're hard up. If you can put the Simpsons, yeah, you got to get somebody that's looked in the store. Try anything. It don't work so well when they get any worse than we are. Yeah. You really would not believe. I mean, people wouldn't believe. You wouldn't believe. A lot of
Before we break up, I just wanted to say one final thing here and thank Jack and Juan Francisco, Maria, everyone for wonderful gifts they brought. We do have something here. But before we do any more, I'd like to close the toast to Jack Ealy, who's our new friend, Juan Francisco's daughter Maria. And Jack, so you know what electrical engineering faculty member looks like today. Why don't you stand up, Sean? That's one. That's what they look like now. Beards and everything.
Oh,
Sean,
thank you.
I'll talk to you later and see what you guys really do. If you know anything about electricity.
Is that right?
Consistently that is.
If I can have everybody's attention very quickly. This young man here, in case you didn't meet him, is Tinu George. He's an international student and he's the president of the International Student Association, and he wanted to say a few words of appreciation, and Roberto is going to help try to translate what he says into Spanish.
I try. Well, all I can say is we really appreciate everything Mr. Ealy and his family is comprising and whatever they've offered us.
Todo lo que ahora puedo decir es realmente que aprecia mucho todo lo que el señor Ealy y su familia han donado y traído.
Well, a lot of us, I don't know Mr. Ealy at all. I've seen him and all I know is that he's Mr. Ealy. But what I do know is what this office represents to me and what it stands for the rest of the international student body.
Yo realmente no conozco mucho al señor Ealy, pero, o sea, sé quién es y sé lo que esta oficina representa para nosotros.
And to us, it's just a place where we can come back for advice, for whatever problems we're having. And it's just a big support to have a great staff with Daryl Sheen and Dr. Merritt and Marsha. And it's nice to have, it's like a family, parents away, parents here.
Es una oficina en la que podemos venir y podemos tener un respaldo, preguntarle a Marsha, no recuerdo quién más, Dr. Murray, y Daryl Sheen. Y preguntarles cosas que podemos tener dudas sobre.
I just want to thank everybody for coming. Thank you very much.
Gracias a todo el mundo por venir.
And the Tri-State also has a gift for the Ealy family, which we're going to pass out to thank you for coming here tonight.
De parte de la universidad, le presentamos con este regalo.
And we also have a special gift for Mr. Ealy.
Melanie, could you repeat that?
For Mr. Ealy, we have a brand new diploma from Tri-State.
It's got today's date on it, or this year, so people are gonna think you're just a kid. Graduating. Well, we figure you probably have lost yours after all these years.
Thank you.
Bring me one.
Bill is
Picture of this right here.
6 years ago, we went to
I'd like to have you hold that up.
my mother
Right here. Sam, stand up. There, he's up. Another one? Oh, here we go. Yes, just have to stand still, Jack.